Did you get that message, by the way, of Kane having magic points?
Yes, I did. I saw that. Does he have magic points right now?
No, I didn't save.
Okay.
I was just testing out the items, and they used an item that gave him magic points. So I'm like, okay, that's useful. And then later I tested a battle item that drained magic points from an enemy, and I'm like, oh, so now he actually has magic points.
Infiltrating Baburu's puppet via the pirate's neck, Dude and company were subjugated to the Mizushiki 410 in order to bring chicks together, then proceeded into the Seiko Soba to destroy the giant's grass shiver system. With that mission complete, Galbez arrived too late to stop them, and Fusia oldnessed him to recover and remind Galbez that he is Dude's mourning. Exhausted from the ordeal, Fusia explained that Nesashi was being telepathized by Zems. So both of him and Galbez set off to pass the Zamu's gathering, then Kane arrived to return the story as the giant of Babil began to break apart. With the Kukin having finally recovered his heart, Dude joined up with him, then kicked Ima and Quump off the ship so the men could return to the moon. However, the women refused to be left behind, and stowed away on Major Brighter Glass to accompany the others as the adventure continues.
Both Kinapple and Ginkgo increase hit points, which means Quomp. Quomp.
Perfect. And then drop some,
Go Quomp. Have all the things, because you're about to get expensive spells. You know what's weird? Pretty much all the side quests in this game have to do with getting more spells for Quomp.
Yeah, pretty much. Although, there is the, what is it, the Excalibur?
Yeah, but to get the thing we need for that, we first have to go to the village of the summon monsters, which is a thing for Quomp.
Yep. These are all tied together. You just do all this stuff, and it's like, bam, have all the summons. And then there's like I would call them errands, because technically they're side quests, but they're not. Like the monsters that you beat in order to get the summon items.
Let's see, what do I want to bring? I checked what these things do, except I don't know what alarm does. I assume it heals sleep. And I don't know what unicorn does. It heals something. I know unicorns and alarm heal a status ailment from the animation, and they do it for the entire party. I just couldn't figure out exactly what that ailment was. I assume alarm is sleep, but I couldn't successfully cast sleep on myself to test it.
You know, I wonder if anyone's actually, like, made a list of these or something, but I doubt it. Like, actually, not tested them, but, like, the person that made this, like, just kind of told you what each one was or something. But that wouldn't be as fun as just trying to figure out everything for yourself.
I guess this will suffice. I just want some of these things, because some of them are good. Like, casting stop on all enemies and stuff like that. Wait! No! Wait, okay, never mind. For a second, I thought I grabbed the thing that uses self-destruct.
Is it bad that I'm just looking at the lunar whale? I'm like, so is this thing just like top heavy? Like it's just like the only reason it's like angles down is because the fat chocobo's there.
Maybe it used to just be a normal ship, but then it got that huge slant because the chocobo's been hanging out there for however many hundreds of years.
Okay, so what is the game plan right now? I was actually trying to ask that because I don't remember what to do at this point.
The game plan is airship. Not that one, I think. Where's the other airship?
What other airship? The little mini...
The Falcon.
Are you talking about the one for the underground?
Yeah. Is that still underground?
Don't they show up on the map?
There is no map.
I thought there was a map.
You keep thinking this game has a map, but it doesn't. It has a map spell, but all that does is show your immediate surroundings.
You know what? I'm gonna look that up because there has to be a map in Final Fantasy IV.
There's that spell. You're probably just thinking of remake stuff. There it is. I found it.
You found it.
We need this airship. I parked the Enterprise near Mysidia. Let's ideally not forget that.
Apparently there's 2 things that allow you to view the world map. Sight and Nomus bread.
Yeah, but the item just casts sight. Dang it, I took 1 step to go heal.
What? Wait, why did you... What? What do you need to heal?
I needed to recover Dude's 2 magic points.
Really?
Yes, but now I have to fight these jackasses. Yay, healing!
Your hip imp is filled. All right, so what is the game plan with this thing?
The game plan is we need to get stuff. This way, I think.
You're just going in all the caves and underground to get summons and stuff?
Yes, and then other places to get summons. And this should be Sylph Cave or Silhou's sketch.
This is the one where you need the float spell?
Both of them you need float. So float. I have done these without float before. We're not doing that.
I have not, because I think the remake actually kind of like points it out a little bit more.
Oh, thank you, game.
3 more bowls.
This is exactly what I like to see.
Kane's like, nope.
I'm out. He doesn't even come back down. He just stays up there.
Stinking. Confused, Silence, and Toad all at the same time. Teleport, Mario.
He couldn't cast it because he's silenced, and he couldn't cast it because he's a frog.
I know it's festival, but the word festival, like, it always sounds like it's supposed to be said festival. Even though there's just V there. I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yes, that is weird.
Judge. After seeing how later games handles that was really unimpressive. But yeah, that again, the whole later games thing.
Yeah.
I love that Point's just dead on the floor as a toad.
That's okay.
Conveniently on a spot that isn't a hole. He's like in the middle of it.
Yeah, he could have just rolled down that hole and then been gone forever.
Or further in the dungeon. That's a lot more than... He has everything. He has Toad, Pig, Fairy, Silenced. How's that even work?
You'd think some of those would just cancel each other out.
I think what will happen is if you use something to cure Toad or whatever, then you'll be a pig and so on and so forth. Or like he'll go down the hierarchy. Shigatukai.
There were treasures, though. This way, maybe. Ow.
Your float spell ended that quickly. Oh yeah, it's because you changed floors. This is why Kaiju-Con was on. Tensei no.
I just tested all the items. Don't give me a new thing. At least that's arrows. It's probably down there.
Maybe. Probably have to go to the right here. All right, well, it looks like you're gonna have to come back out. Yeah, you have to come back up from the next floor down.
Yeah. I want to test something, because I remember this being a thing, at least in the easy version. But I think if you cast it individually on people, it doesn't wear off. No, okay. I feel like that was a thing, at least in the easy version of the game, that you could kind of get around that for some reason.
I wouldn't really know, because this area I've actually never personally seen in this version of the game.
That's weird.
I thought those were ferrets for a second.
Okay.
He's like, the white looks more like fur than it does a gaping mouth. So I was kind of confused. But yeah, I never actually personally seen the graphics of this version of it, unless like somebody had it in a video for like a split second. Mainly because I played the 3D remake more, and every speedrun of this game I have seen has skipped this area because they don't like even get to this point in the game. They just kind of skip over this entire portion of the game.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yep, they just use the staircase in order to just get to the end of the game, or at least decently along. You know, I'm kind of surprised that this game didn't have a more substantial thing for Ifrit with Rydia, because the fact that like when she was younger she didn't want to use fire or whatever, and like it could have been like a weird subconscious thing that like she wasn't able to actually cast Ifrit for any reason, and then you had to like figure that out. But it's like, nope, I have it.
Of course.
Because I'm older now and I just don't like care anymore.
I got over it.
I got over it because I grew up and okay, dude is dead.
Yeah, and he was the whole reason I just cast healing magic with her.
Yep. which is hilarious because these things are named Mammon, and that's like a boss name from like another Final Fantasy, I think. So it's very weird to me. You're gonna have to start casting Rays soon because you only have like 4 Phoenix Downs.
That's okay. We got this.
You can go buy more because you have 231,000. It's enough to buy like what, 200 of them? I don't remember how much they cost. Dream Evil and Mammon. I forget, is this all just for one summon?
And also the spoon, but I believe you have to do it earlier to get that. But it's also to talk to people.
Was it this one that leads you to that like weird dimension?
No, that's the other cave. This is the one that leads to the Sylph house.
I know they explained how she actually got there and stuff, but it's still weird to me that she like got attacked above ground and then was brought to underground and then into another dimension sort of dealy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of contrivances in order to get there, but okay. I know the game explains it, but obviously we won't be getting that explanation.
Also, they could make her more powerful and get rid of her white magic. That way you don't have 3 people in your party at the end with white magic.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal, because if you actually grinded, you would have like a Quamp that died in 2 hits instead of 1. Although doing side quests is mostly the equivalent of getting a decent amount of grinding in, because you can't really, well, you, okay, because you could, somebody remembers this pattern.
What I really need are more status healy things.
Well, that's why we have a ton of them.
Well, I mean ones that heal everything for dealing with these guys. I forgot these guys were here.
Or just flat out ribbons.
I don't think this game has ribbons.
No, it does. There's a chest that actually drops one in the lunar subterrane, where it's like has an enemy in it, sort of deal. And then there's what was it? The Bog Witch and the Dark Sage also drop them. Though obviously their item drops, so you know how that is. But yeah, grinding those is fun. I know they added more ways of getting it in the later versions. The advanced version has more options, and the complete version also does. I think the 3D version just has the original ways of getting it, or they might have just did both of them. It's too bad that we're not playing the easy type though.
Dang it, Quamp, why do you have to miss yourself? Also, how do you miss yourself?
But yeah, in the easy type version of the game, ribbons also protect against fire, lightning, and I think ice? I don't remember, but they protect against 3 spells, as well as give the elements, as well as give you the ability to absorb elements that they're protected against. So it's like, okay, just get the ribbon and like never take damage again from spells.
It's basically just this is how you beat the game.
Of course, you gotta grind a lot to get those, so because obviously they're like items that you get from enemies drops, and you get one from a guarded chest, which if you get one, you pretty much just put it on your character that you don't want dying from those spells.
Yeah,
I got to keep it!
Yay, we got to keep money for once.
It didn't go on fire.
You know what this dungeon really makes me miss? The visible paths on the easy version.
We finally lost money after a battle. 534 money was disappointed, which isn't that big of a deal.
I'd rather my money be disappointed than burn. Oh.
I love that, like, you just see that area is like, that looks completely different up there.
Yeah, it's almost like there's something in this place. Damn it. Yay.
You prayed.
You know, I feel like in fiction, the power of prayer is usually supposed to be significant to some degree, but evidently not.
I think pray works better in the remake.
I imagine lots of things work better in the remake.
Yeah, mainly because you can make a lot of things actually do better things using augments and junk, like having Cecil kick enemies. Alright, can we take more than one step?
We are stepping to things. Thank you, game.
They tricked you.
But this is not a trick. This dungeon is the worst because this levitates stuff.
I mean, in the original, maybe. obviously the archaic menus are better in every other version of the game.
Tragedies.
No.
How about we don't do this? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
At least it's not a back attack.
What kind of monster treasure just throws normal monsters at you?
One that doesn't have a good treasure in it.
You have made me disappointed, and we don't even know what we're getting yet. Now I have nothing to look forward to.
Or do you? You never know.
You never know. Reach train station. No! I haven't seen a single train this entire game. How are we supposed to reach the train station?
Well, that's why we never seen a train this entire game, because we never got to the train station.
Also, I forgot that prey could fail.
It's almost like your prayers haven't been answered. Could you imagine if that happened in Final Fantasy VII?
It's the alternate ending. You just die.
That would have been like... Imagine if they incorporated that into the game. Obviously, the game would be like...
A modern game?
No, it's probably possible that they could have done it on the PlayStation.
No, but I'm saying it's something a modern game would do, but a game back then would be less likely to do.
Yeah. I mean, they had like the dates in that game, so they could have probably incorporated it in that style depending on what choices you picked or whatever. It would make your prayers get answered or not, and you would just get like freebie points as you're playing through the game sort of deal. So even if you're like not playing to like a certain amount, like if you're not doing side quests or whatever, or not saying certain things, it still wouldn't decrease your chances. Like if you just play through the game naturally, more than likely you'll get the good ending no matter what, unless you just decide to be like a total idiot or be dumb to everybody sort of deal. Another so many.
There really are so many, damn it.
And you gotta do it. That's one thing I actually kind of commend the remake for, though, is the fact that since you're in Midgard much longer, there's time for more character development in that area. So, like, yeah, it goes through the same paces, mostly. It's just, like, once you get to... Like, you feel like more happens. I mean, obviously, because the game's longer, but...
Bye, Quam.
Imagine if there's like a glitch and they get revived there, and so they'd be standing there like they wouldn't go back to their neutral position, and then they get confused again and they just keep going to the left further and further and further. If like they get confused, they go back after, like they don't go back after dying, like they just stand there. Then they get confused again, walk a little bit further, die again, you revive them, they get confused again, walk a little bit further.
That would be something.
It makes me wonder if that actually happened as a bug during playtesting. Like, it had to have, because of the fact that it's like, yeah, they had their neutral positions and all, but they were confused, so they're standing out further when they died. So maybe they didn't input a check to be like, go back to your spot or something, and then they just stood there.
I could see something like that happening.
And so they have to like input a check is like, where are they standing? If not here, then go here, sort of deal. And it's like, only specifically when they get revived. So that like check doesn't happen like every time. He's like, I would imagine if they inputted it after like a confusion or whatever. It's like, get confused, walk here. But then they inputted it after that, so they would just walk back and forth when they're confused. It would be much funnier because they're confused and walking back and forth constantly.
That could be a thing.
That would be hilarious. English!
Oh no! We just got Dude's original job class. Oh, he's English. I don't know about that. All that character development for nothing.
That didn't lower his attack at all, so...
It lowered his accuracy by 2.
That's not that bad.
It's probably just for if you want him in the back row.
Maybe, but does the boomerang hit all enemies?
I don't think so.
I know there was a game where if you had like the boomerang actually would like sweep all enemies. I just can't remember what it was. It's like, it was Dragon Quest 8. I think it was, if you have that, you just like hit all enemies. Yeah, I think it might have been Dragon Quest 8, where you just hit all enemies, but it's not as strong sort of deal.
I know they have boomerangs as battle items in Lufia 2 when they do that.
Oh, it's a boomerang. Nice. Oh, cool. Do I hit everything? I do. Nice. Has any of the items from these battles actually been remotely decent?
I don't know. One of them was a battle item and I don't know what it does.
We could always find out.
We could someday.
You could have Point use it. It's not like he's doing anything right now.
Yeah, but what if it turns out to be good and we want it for later?
And it's the elixir situation. When am I ever going to use this aside from the final boss battle? But I don't know which one is the actual final boss. I'm never actually going to use it.
Yeah, that's how games go. You know somebody's played RPGs before when they have like 30 frickin' elixirs in their inventory because they haven't been using them.
They're just so useful, everybody, everywhere else, except for the final battle when you actually really need them. But you don't know if it's actually the final battle or not. There could be another form, for all you know.
Or it could be a fake-out boss. This game likes doing fake-outs.
Yes, a lot of Disney devs going on. That's kind of why I like games that actually use the main theme of the game or something like that for the final battle, because then you kind of just know that it's the final battle.
Unless they trick you.
And then they play more tense music after they get to their second form sort of deal.
You know the whole second form thing has outstayed its welcome when you're playing a game and you're more surprised when the final boss doesn't have a second form.
Ground.
Thank you, game.
That chest had dirt in it.
Oh, this is proving totally worth it. Side quests. They're the best.
Gee, what did you like about this episode? I like the fact that they fought so many enemies and got a lot of dirt from the treasure chest.
What are my items? Damn it.
I could have gone slightly better.
Yeah. Oops.
What did you do?
I misclicked.
Oh, good. Day is a day. You did 420 damage. Nice.
And then we did this and made more mountains out of holes.
No, you just made the chest have more dirt in it.
That changes the item that's inside of it. I destroyed what they actually had and replaced it with dirt.
Oh, there's actually games that do that. Like if you attempt to open up the chest or something like that, and it doesn't actually, if you break the lock or whatever on the chest, that is, that's for, it's more than likely for Edge.
But it's a broadsword.
Okay.
Why are you a thing? Now, hang on. Wait. Who the hell equips this sword?
I'm gonna look this one up. That doesn't seem right to me.
Use cooking. It is item, others not. I figured it out. We have to cook it first.
Items, items, items.
Well, you look at that while I fight more of these things.
It is a two-handed weapon.
Well, then better be one hell of a good.
It puts them in auto berserk when they have it on.
And then we sold it.
That depends on if you want them to exclusively attack or not.
Yeah, but I want Kane to be able to jump. And dude, I don't want him losing defense in case he needs to protect somebody.
But at the same time, you get a 50% bonus to attack power, so you just do more damage.
Oops. Oops.
You're dropping everything.
Yeah, I dropped my controller, then picked it up and dropped it.
Whoops.
Because that's how hands work. But at least I never flung a Wiimote into a TV.
Yeah. You know what's actually funny about the Berserk status?
Huh.
You played the Game Boy Advance version of this game, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever got the Psycho Edward bug?
I don't know what that is.
It basically makes Edward viable.
See, first of all, you're lying. Second of all, what is it?
Well, you know how when Edward gets low on HP, he automatically hides? If Edward is berserked, what he would do is every time he would go to attack, he would come out of hiding, attack, and even though he'll be visible, he still counts as being in the hidden status, so nothing will ever attack him. The only time it will like cancel that out is when the other party members are low on HP. Actually, I think it's just when they're dead, then Edward comes out of hiding because you have to be using it. Like you have to use somebody, so they kind of make it so it cancels out the hidden status.
Yay, arrows. Okay.
I bet you're regretting those decisions right now. Well, now you're outside, so you can use a tent.
Yes, we can go heal. There. Now we have enough high potions.
To last us
a while.
Why did you place it there and not move the ground down?
See, I get what you're saying. I'm just gonna pretend that I can come up with an excuse to justify me not paying attention. What do I want to sell? You know what? Screw the arrows. I don't want to deal with arrows with this translation. How strong is you?
You also gotta remember that they get the berserk status as well, which adds a 50% bonus.
Yeah.
And then you cast haste on them.
You know when that would have been useful? Against the demon wall.
You definitely need to slow down that footage a little bit because I swore he cycled through like 3 sprites before he turned back to normal. Yeah, we definitely didn't go on this side. Why is there a save point this early in the dungeon? That's so weird to me.
Maybe it's just to show you you're going the right way. So let's go this way. Retreat from the save point and find treasures and stairs and these assholes.
But they're stuffed, so their stinking's gonna be a little bit worse. I'm glad that SNES doesn't get rid of the float. I saw that jump was great out there because he's a frog, but could you imagine? You just see the frog go. Oh, I'm gonna ignore that. Even though I just pointed it out to myself.
I was busy looking at menus to decide how to win.
I took the damage. It's gotta stink knowing that after every battle here, you know you gotta cut out like an extra minute of footage or something like that just because of the fact that of all the healing.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. Money! Cottage!
Both useful things.
Yes, but what is not useful is having to fight these guys again.
I don't really know what that did.
It cast stop.
And it actually worked? Now this battle is gonna go much more smoothly because they can't do anything now. Today's the day.
Today's the day that things will go better than they did yesterday, aka last battle. Every battle is a day. This has been a long journey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could you imagine though? It's like every battle is like, okay, we need a rest.
I mean, if we were getting pounded on like this in D&D, that would be the case.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, RPG battles are just such a different... The fact that there's so many enemies and you're fighting like these giant things constantly, like every 2 minutes, not even.
In D&D, you would be
Fudge. Only I didn't say fudge.
Yeah, like you're sitting there just attacking all these things again and again and again. You're gonna get hit. You don't cast float. It's just like I just can't imagine. It's like, okay, guys, we're gonna go through this dungeon. We fight like 2 Marlboros, and it's like, okay, we need a rest. That was a really long battle. And it's like this game is like every 2 seconds we're fighting.
And then you get attacked while you're resting.
Yeah. Well, that depends on if the DM wants to do that or not.
This is mildly annoying.
There it goes. Goko Gako. I hate that this game doesn't have a quicker status update on the things, like the HP leveling, not the HP leveling, the HP going up when you go cure in the menus and things like that. And the fact that 6 toads can cast Toad in a row and it doesn't do anything until they're all done casting Toad.
This is dumb.
He did it! He did it! He jumped as a Toad!
Victory!
It would have been funny if they balanced this battle out by having the Toad Witch have like 5 HP so you could actually kill it as a Toad.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, this is clearly a side quest place, but it's also one of those side quest places where it's like every single battle is just torture because you're dealing with status effects constantly.
They're at that point. Float can't sustain going upstairs, but it lasted all night as we rested.
Yep, those bedrolls are just floating in the air as you're just laying down. There it is. You got an elephant. It's a bow.
Yay.
He just sold all the arrows.
Yeah.
You see, they make enemies like this into actual bosses in the later Final Fantasies, just because they know this status effect nonsense is annoying, so they want you to experience it as a boss instead. I love the fact that when she flashed, you saw the Toad underneath her before she even cast Toad on herself. You know, I always wondered why the Final Fantasy games, like the early ones, made it so your characters were on the right side of the screen instead of the left when doing battles.
Why?
Like, doesn't it seem like a little unnatural? Like the fact that they show up on the right side?
Oops, that's not what I wanted.
It's like, yeah, you played through all these Final Fantasies, so it's just conditioned. It's like, okay. They just show up on the right. And if you're on the left, it's a back attack. But you think it'd be the other way around.
Well, maybe they just wanted it to be special.
Maybe that's why the good adventures always goes left trope is a thing. Because in the original Final Fantasy, they're always facing left. Like in the menus, when you're creating the characters.
I don't know about that. I just always felt I would go left because right is right. So to me, it just made sense that the right way would be the right way. So I always felt I should go left first.
Like even the remakes of like 3, for example, like it starts off with the characters appearing on the right and then the camera changes. Like it shows them like an above view and then you select all the attacks and then it just kind of swoops down into an angle. And then the remake of 4 has them in that angle from the get-go. And then sometimes they just show up on the right like normal, depending on, it's like a battle specific thing. And 5 and 6, it's just like they're more remasters than remakes. And 7, yeah, they do show up on the right in 7. I just never think about it because sometimes like you get back attacks and you're on the left. It's just that the 7 plays with camera angles a lot, so you just don't really focus on which side they appear on the screen. And 8 just plays the camera angles to a point where like some battles like they're far away from the screen or sometimes they're on the left side. Like they play with camera angles a lot in 8 to a point where like every battle has like a different camera angle. 9, they're on the right side of the screen, sometimes with camera angle thingies. 10 does the camera angle thing as well. 11's an MMO. 12, nah. And 13, they're just all over the place. These are constantly moving around. Although you could change the camera angle on your own in that game, so.
Really?
You didn't know you could change the camera angle on 13?
Doesn't sound familiar.
With the right analog stick?
Why would I press the right analog stick in an RPG?
No, you just use the right analog stick in order to rotate the camera.
Interesting.
I actually used it a lot to get a better view of what was going on because of character placement actually being a necessity in that game. Like depending on how close they are and things like that, they might get hit by certain attacks. So I used it to like judge where people were. I find it so funny that the Toad sprites in battle for like the Toad enemies still have more detail than the ones that you get.
Well, yours need multiple frames. The enemies just need to flash.
And distort. The Mage Masher, or in this case, the Musher.
Who equips Mush?
I think the Mage Masher can be used by most people.
Yeah, okay, no. I think I actually want that. The Mage Musher has 5 more attack power on Quamp, but her current weapon can paralyze enemies, and I also believe whips do the same damage from the back row.
Let's find out, but first I need to look up the Mage Musher. I actually wrote Mage Musher. Extra damage versus mages may inflict silence. That's good. But then, whip. Yeah, they are long range. It doesn't say what they do in Final Fantasy IV, which is weird, but they do say that it does full damage in the back. But in Final Fantasy IV, the only thing that it says is that Child Rydia can also use whips, but you can't do that without cheating. So that's kind of weird to me. Maybe if I look up...
Maybe there was originally going to be an early game whip weapon.
Either that or it's just kind of programmed that way or something. Because she uses the same character slot. It does say that whips are long range, so obviously it just means that more than likely it just does more damage in the back row sort of deal.
Not that she'll be doing much damage anyway.
Yeah, Ima just does more damage by whacking stumps of canes. And the way that I said that just made me think that Ima was just using cane as a weapon. I don't know about you, but this dungeon is obnoxiously long, even though it's not.
It's not long, it's just you need to find the way to go.
Yeah. Even though it's like, it's not like that big of a deal for this dungeon. It's just that it's a side dungeon and we've been like in the side dungeon for like over an hour. We got 2 Morbos and Ariana Grande. Which is so funny because I could actually say that Ariana Grande is the best Final Fantasy character. Because she actually is in a Final Fantasy game.
Is she now?
That's mainly because she produced a song for the game and got like a character in the game as well because of that.
That's an interesting reason to get in a game.
Yeah, it's one of the mobile games, but it's one of the mobile games that actually has a story. Actually, most of the Final Fantasy mobile games have a story except All the Bravest or whatever the heck it's called. All the Bravest is just dumb.
We made it!
Sylph! You are a student. I will call out for us as long as we can. We also fight, instead of Fuvway, who taught her kindness and tenacity.
Okay.
I said tenacity. Tenacity.
Nice to meet you, Mr. You were doing a bad voice, apparently, because it's Mr. Sylph. Quamp has remembered. Sylph. I don't think that's how remembering works.
That's not how remembering works. And the fact that Sylph was spelled right when you said Mr. Sylph, but then you remembered Sylph wrong. Please look at the summon, see if it's spelled right or not.
Uh-oh. It is.
I don't think the summons have been touched at all.
Well, there's Lamu.
Yeah, but most of them are like accurate.
Maybe some of them are like mythological names or something, so they translate the same in every language.
What do you do, Fuvway?
Fuvway's not here. He already left.
There are ladies, so it cannot be helped. That was not a good voice for that. It is lonely that Fuvway does not exist. But
yes. I feel like that's not the kind of thing that you can leave unfinished. Fuvway doesn't exist, but... And then the Sylph just kind of looks away. He just does this, like, slow turnaround out the window.
That is why Cat was on. That is why Jealous was on.
Yay. I think those are both Fuvway weapons. Yeah. I think those chests just have whatever weapons you had him equipped with when you lost him. But Fuvway doesn't exist. And now we have Sylph.
Now we can finally move on from this annoying cave.
And Sylph is better in easy type because it doesn't cost any magic points, but it requires magic points to cast it.
What?
Because as we look, you see how it costs 25 Shohai. Well, you need to have 25 Shohai to cast it, but if you're playing the easy version and you cast the spell, it doesn't actually deplete your magic points.
That sounds like it's a bug.
I don't know if it's a bug or not, but it's a good. But it's only in the easy version, not this one.
Oh well. It's not like you use summons half the time with her anyway.
Yeah, but that's a good one because you can just keep casting it for nothing, and it does more damage than her basic attack while also healing.
Time for cave number 2.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to do all the YouTube things, and if you want to see more Google Translated madness, then be sure to go check out Azure Brian's channel where he and I played through Super Mario RPG Google Translated. See you next time!